Welcome, beautiful people. You are tuned in to Beauty Behold, Beauty Transitions. And today I have a phenomenal guest. I am so excited to have her here. And I do not use the word phenomenal lightly because she's a singer, rapper, songwriter, business owner, mentor, and community advocate. She is the founder and CEO of Silk City Rich Grounds, founder and owner and producer of Writers Rumble, Shanell Red Films, and the owner at Big Drawz Music and Phatt House Entertainment. I welcome you, Shanell Red.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I've been excited. You know, I've been excited to have you here. And I use the word phenomenal because you truly are. You're doing a lot of things. And I've given a little introduction to what are some of your brands and the businesses that you operate. But I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. And while introducing yourself, just tell the viewing audience where you're from, a little bit about your background and your family.
I'm originally from Paterson, New Jersey, born and raised.
Mhm.
My family is from Baghdad, Florida. Um, yeah, my mother moved here when she was 17. She was on the same job from 17 until she retired at 64. And she had wonderful me and my brother, who passed away like 9 years ago, but it's just me now. So I have been doing music since I was 12.
Mm.
14, I got into rapping. It's so funny that you would say like reading a bio rapper. I haven't rapped since I was like 16.
Yeah, but I'm sure
But
it's like riding a bike, right?
right. So it's so funny to me. But I've been writing songs since I was like 16.
Hmm.
Professionally since I was 21.
Oh, okay.
And I started out songwriting from poetry. So I would write poetry, then take my poetry and put it to tracks,
Hmm.
come up with melodies, and then came Shanell Red.
Wow. Wow. So that's how you got started. Um,
Right.
when did you get into a place where you knew that this was something that was an innate part of you and something that you wanted to do in an entrepreneurial sense? What was it that took you to that level?
Well, I've always wanted to get into movies. I've always helped people. So that's a very, very big, strong trait that I got from my mom. You know, it's a strength and a weakness.
Mhm.
um, and I guess for me, helping people kind of maneuvered me into really listening to music. My mother sang, my dad sang. My dad introduced me to music early when he was running a bar
Mhm.
in Paterson, and he had Sister Sledge.
Oh,
He booked them for
really?
a show. Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
stayed at my house. They stayed the night at
Wow.
my house. My mother cooked for them and everything. I met them. They were amazing. I think I was like 6 or 7, but
Wow.
I remember that because
Wow.
their greatest dancer was my song.
Hmm.
We Are Family was
We are
my song.
family for real,
Mhm.
right?
So I think that kind of I already loved music young, but that kind of made me be like, oh, I want to be like this.
Hmm.
I want to be in a group too. So that was my mindset really in the beginning, just to have a group, and I did put a group together
Hmm.
called Thick, and we got signed to Pocket Town EMI. It was 5 of us,
Hmm.
and we was on there with Billy Lawrence and Crucial Conflict, and the label folded, and we were left without a label. And me and Tanisha, who was my writing partner at the time in Big Drawz, me and her just went on to continue to do music, and in like a year we got a publishing deal, and we were just all over the place. Our manager Kimberly Thornton had us all over the place. Then we got we got the publishing deal, and we just been on the song trail since then, since 2002.
Yeah, there was something you said earlier on that I just want to hit on, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. When you care about other people, whether you're wrong or, good or bad, it could be good or bad. And I picked up on that because sometimes your heart is so big and so open, you allow people in that maybe shouldn't be in there. But I'm just saying that to you because I wanted to make it clear to the viewing audience that's what you meant by it. And do you agree with that? Is that where you were going when you said that?
Yeah, I do agree. And it comes a time where you think people have your best interest, and they really don't. But I value relationships, good ones and bad ones. It's just when you learn the bad ones, you know how to treat them, and you know how to move forward with conducting certain things with them. But I'm never going to be in a position where I allow anybody to disrespect me or take anything from me that they didn't do themselves. Credit is very important to me.
Right.
It's your business card. It's how you make a living. So I'm making my business to credit everyone accordingly, and I want people to give me that same respect. So, I don't dislike anybody. I may dislike things they do, but I'm still going to be cordial. If you did something dirty to me, I'm still going to be, I see you, hey, how you doing? I just know how to deal with you moving forward.
Yes. Well, I'm glad we elaborated on that, but we're about to take a break. I want to put a hyperlink on the discussion. I'm not taking the other information that you heard from Shanell lightly. We're going to go right back to that full circle with, her partner, Tanisha. We're going to learn more about what that was about when we come back. Okay, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all.
What's up, everybody? I'm Shanell Red, and I'm looking for my team, Team Red. So if your pin game is hot and you got what it takes, then you need to check out The Writer's Room, because I need you to be on my team so we can lock this thing down and win.
Welcome back. When we took a break, Shanell was just tuning us into how she partnered with her friend at the time, Tanisha, and I'm just going to ask her to explain more about where that partnership took them in terms of delving even deeper into the music industry. So Shanell, can you give us a little bit more background about Big Drawz and when it collapsed, and what did you guys do?
Well, me and Tanisha wrote, when we were in the girl group together, we wrote all the records. We wrote all the records basically, and I was already a writer coming into the group, so I taught Tanisha how to write, how to put things together. Tanisha was an amazing singer. She knew melodies, harmonies, and she knew how to write too, but I guess coming in with me kind of glued everything together and made her understand how songwriters go about. And I remember her telling me that one day, because I never knew. She was like, you started me really into songwriting, I learned from you. And I was like, wow, that was a compliment. But we went from there, we went on to work with, I'm going to say our first real artist that we worked with was 3LW. They were a joy to work with Rockwilder. And then from there, it just went up. I'm gonna say our third artist was Destiny's Child. That was a big thing. We got woke up at 7 a.m. to do a session with them. I had to write out the lyrics. I think Tanisha was out of town at the time, so I had to run the Kinkos and FedEx fax the lyrics over, and then be dressed to go to the session. And when I got there, Beyonce was just like, oh my God, what were you guys thinking when you wrote this record? And we were male bashing at the time and having drinks. And we
can you name the song?
Yeah, we originally wrote "If," which is number 8 on the Destiny Fulfilled album. We originally wrote that record for Tweet. And then it ended up going to Beyonce. And then because she loved us so much, our chemistry and how we wrote and everything, she asked us to write a second song. So we got 2 on that Destiny Fulfilled album. Number 9, which is Free. It was a great experience. On the contrary, when people say, oh, she don't write or she don't this, no, she wrote, she helped vocal produce. She was involved. She was involved in the process, and we had fun doing that. So, yeah.
Wow, what a great experience. Well, I do have a list of the other folks that you've actually wrote for or helped in their artistry with writing songs. Jaheim, Charlie Wilson, Faith Evans, Chris Brown, Trinity I Tee 57, Emily King, and Trey Songz.
Yeah.
In addition to Destiny's Child. And I just wanted to read off those names because, you know, they're very popular names and very familiar with anyone who appreciates music. But, and just to, you know, just validate what I said about you being phenomenal, and I don't use that word lightly. So, we're gonna, I'm gonna move on and ask you another question. Did you encounter any obstacles along the way? If any, can you share them in a way to kind of give someone who's looking to do what you're doing or involved in doing what you're doing that may have experienced some obstacles themselves? Can you share anything that would be enlightening to someone?
Well, let me talk about 2 things. Partnership. When you have a partnership, it is really, really important to trust who you're with. It's really, really important to communicate with who you're having business with. And I think with me and Tanisha, towards the end, a lot of it had to do with non-communication and a lot of he say, she say. And, you know, for me, I was really about teamwork. You know, all my paper reflected teamwork, Shanell and Tanisha. You know, a couple of times her paperwork would not reflect Shanell and Tanisha. It would just reflect Tanisha. So, you know, I'm very open about that part. You know, you have to be fair to each other. Although we may have done separate sessions every now and then, everything I did was for Big Drawz, which is 2 of us, you know, and towards the end, it kind of, you know, separated us because there was no communication, you know, and, you know, again, like I said, you can't allow outside interference, you know, from people when you're building a business. And we had a great business, you know, but I remember us talking about separating and somebody saying to us, well, people only know you guys as Big Drawz. They don't know you guys as Shanell and Tanisha. So, you know, we both had to figure that out and separating how would we maneuver that for ourselves, branding ourselves outside of Big Drawz. So, you know, I stepped out on faith, wish her well. She wished me well. And, you know, I just started building my brand from there, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes things like that happen when you're in partnership with someone. Another thing that can happen is one person is really doing all the work and the other person wants to take all the credit, you know, but it has to be a true partnership for it to work. But again, we're about to go on another break. We're going to put a hyperlink right there. When we come back, I'm going to ask more questions of this phenomenal, phenomenal lady that we have here with us today. So stay tuned. Red, learning so much about her phenomenal self and what she does. And we're going to keep it moving. So, Shanell, I just want you to talk about a mentor, someone who really supported you on your journey.
Well, there were a few. One in particular, who always, whenever I called, gave me grand advice and was also a mentor in, showing me and Tanisha how to really create a song. And he was the first person we got a placement with. His name is Trey. And the first placement that we got with him was Patti Labelle.
Wow.
So, yeah. And Trey was amazing, very informative, very hands-on, and to this day, he's still like a great mentor of mine that I, look up, and if I need answers or whatever, I can call on him. He's one. And Mark Pitts is another one. Mark Pitts worked for Jaheim for years. Now he's like the head over at RCA.
Wow.
And he's definitely a mentor to me. And I think the biggest part with him was because as an A&R, he would go out and be with his artists. He was like hands-on with his artists. He wasn't sitting in his desk giving orders and not going out and being involved. That's what I loved about him. Who else?
I'm sure there's a lot. We'll take those.
But those are my main two, and and Trey Paterson. Those are my main two.
Yeah. You are so phenomenal. There's a couple of things that I want to touch upon. You do Writers Rumble. You're out with your new movie, your first production under the umbrella of Shanell Red Films.
Yes.
It's called Pressure. It just aired on Tubi. I was fortunate enough to go to the red carpet when it first aired, but phenomenal.
Thank
you. You so much to just talk about Writers Rumble and Shanell Red Films.
Well, Writers Rumble is a reality challenge music show for songwriters and producers, where songwriters come on and be challenged to write a song for an up-and-coming artist, whether it be like Beyonce, Bruno Mars, or somebody. They get challenged, they win a publishing deal at the end, but it's a journey for the songwriters, and it allows the people to see that artists don't always write their songs. Like, there are people behind the scenes like me, some of the judges that are on the show who are Grammy nominated. We write some of these amazing songs that they go out and buy. So, because writers don't get paid with their worth, a lot of the times we go through a lot. I decided I wanted to come up with this show to show people how dope writers are, the trials and tribulations that we go through to get heard, to get noticed, So I'm excited about that. That's going to be coming out on Tubi in April, the Writers Rumble. And Shanell Red Films, it is what it is. Everything I'm doing is going to go under Shanell Red Films. I'm excited about it. I have a great team that I have that's involved with it. And we have a couple of movies, we got coming up, right after this Pressure release, which is amazing. I'm going to be working on Flipside, the movie, in April. And, again, putting out the Writers Rumble.
Yeah.
Season 1.
I am so excited about it. And you have a community space where you create and you bring in your community into the Silk City rich soils of Paterson, New Jersey. So tell us just a little bit about how that came about, your community space and what it's about, so that people can understand.
Well, the space is a event space for photography, filming, weddings, meetings, studio. We have 2 floors. It's downtown Paterson, 121 Ellison Street. I'm sorry. And we've been having a lot of the community come in and support us and have their events there. Even the City Hall have events at our spot. You know, again, it's a community space. And I have partners. I have Zeno Star Wilson, my son Joseph Moore, and Loot Lavender. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of us, and we run the space. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. And so with Silk City Rich Grounds, you can reach us at silkcityrichgrounds.com.
Yeah, the space is beautiful. I was fortunate enough to connect with you. I don't know, maybe it's been over a year ago by now. But it was like a whirlwind. You had just started, and it's absolutely beautiful. I just
thank you so much.
Everybody out there to visit it and support. Go to her events. You're gifted with stuff that you're like shocked that you're gifted with when you go. I know I was. But in any case, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. And just as a quick sidebar, I was joking with my daughter because she doesn't live too far from your community space. And so I crash at her house when I go. But I was a good thing. Joking, saying if I lived where she lived, I'd probably be over there all the time.
Hey, and we are in there every day. We got something going on at least every other day over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. But I thank you so much for being here and sharing all of this with us today, Shanell. I just wish you the best moving forward with what you're doing. The information with the viewing audience so that they'll know how to connect with you?
Well, on Instagram, I'm Shanell Red. On Facebook, I'm Shanell Red. And if you want to get in touch with me as far as films go, it's Shanell Red Films with 2 S's on the end. And if you want to reach me through Writers Rumble, my reality TV show, which we are having auditions coming March 5th in Houston, Texas, you can reach us on the website, which is rumble.com.
Yep. And there you have it. You have all the information you need. Please connect with her. You won't regret it if you do. Again, thank you, my viewing audience, for tuning in. And Shanell, thank you so much for
thank you for having me.
Joining my show here. Okay. And as I always say to everyone out there, stay beautiful. Mwah.
Mwah.